All right, folks, welcome back to another fantastic edition of Opali Presents Know Your Pros. And today's guest, we have Tim O'Green from Right Movers based in Orange, California. Tim runs a moving business that services Orange County and the country from coast to coast, but they are a Southern California business doing commercial, residential, junk removal. They do hauling, they do it all. They do moving the right way. Tim, it is a pleasure to have you, my man.
Thank you, Henry. Great to be here.
I'm psyched to have you, Tim, just because I don't on this show talk to many movers. But you made an impression on me, not just the way that you put your business out there online, which is my space, but the way in which I think our booking process went. Like we did, and I often have to deal with rescheduling, but you were just always so on top of things when it came to getting this thing onto the calendar. And I really appreciated that. I'm sure that that's not something that folks get a lot of in the moving business, right? We talked about people waiting months to have their things delivered, and that's not the way that you are. I want to talk about that in a second. But before I do, why was it that Tim O'Green decided to just go out, start his own moving business? How did that occur?
I was definitely everyone's go-to and everyone's helper because I always bring home trucks from work prior to starting, and I it actually started off with family moves, where I just experienced how things were done and how things weren't wrapped that should have been wrapped, and just started bringing home trucks and helping out friends, helping out family, and making sure everything got there wrapped well and safely.
Well, and in the beginning too, you weren't dealing with just like your average pieces of furniture as well. I mean, like you were moving appliances, things made of stainless steel that if you have like one wrong move, you've got a dent in that thing for, the life of the equipment.
Correct.
Isn't that the case?
Yeah, so I started off with moving Sub-Zeros, Viking, commercial restaurant freezers, refrigerators, and I took that on because my prior industry was constantly warehousing and moving around electrical distribution boards, so large electrical panels. So I felt confident already moving the large appliances that no one else wanted to touch. And yeah,
Got it. So, I mean, when it comes to the industry of moving, we talked about some of the fears that, folks go through when they contract a mover to move their life or their business or anything else. I mean, did you see when you started this business sort of a need for a service like yours, especially in this industry?
um, a service that had to be servicing that client with full customer service, absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, go in there, work with them with their schedule, with their needs. And a lot of times, if we're not moving everything, we're just going to go do the large items. I'm working with their budget and still a full customer service and moving everything where they want it, how they want it, assembled in that room, and just assisting them through the process of a very stressful for most process. Just take the stress away and um, listen to them.
Right. I mean, like I mentioned, of course, and I say this a lot, but in the industry that you're in, it's a stressful process. It is an intimate process where we're talking about like all of the things that you hold near and dear are being packaged away into boxes, put into trucks, driven down the highway to God knows where, right? But when it comes to dealing with right movers, you guys say that you've already mentioned this. You're not just here to be the movers, but you're there to be the helpers, right? I mean,
Correct.
that's the way it is.
Correct. Definitely going in there and making sure that everything is done how they want it, what they want done first. If they want the kitchen delivered in a smaller truck ahead of time to make sure that the kitchen gets set up before everything else piles in, that's a service we offer. Um, and guarantee dates, making sure that it's there when they want it there, as long as weather and Mother Nature basically allows it.
Yeah.
And when we're traveling, we do give them a guaranteed date as well as
So
a price.
yeah, no, the guaranteed date thing is so important just because, so many families and businesses they go through and they've got to deal with a mover, basically dictating their schedule upon when they're going to arrive at their space. But you say, whether it's moving out moving up, moving down, or moving on, you guys are the ones. You are the right movers for the job. Um, you know, it gets I feel the sense that you would bend over backwards to just like make any job right for whoever's contracting you. And that's important because, like we just mentioned, this industry it's fraught with like those late deliveries or packages that get jumbled around and things like that. To you, um, I'm curious, like, why is it that somebody should call Right Movers beyond just that customer service or beyond that almost white glove delivery style that you guys provide?
We do go into several jobs with the white glove service and mindset to from packing everything to final delivery.
Hmm.
We are a private door-to-door service. We're not mixing loads when we're traveling out of state, and we're not mixing loads. You're going to have a guaranteed date, and we'll be there. Um, and it's right movers from start to finish. We're not brokering anyone else in. It's just us.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep saying right and hearing myself just name drop the name of the company. It's the right service to have. They're the right movers. It makes way too much sense. Tim, I want to pivot really quick and I want to talk about how you guys have a couple of different divisions that you offer at the business. You have, of course, residential, you do commercial, but you guys are expanding into hauling and junk removal as well. You've got a lot of trucks at the business and you've got a lot of big clients too. But um, in terms of that need there, why was it that you decided to go into those different divisions?
Just some listen to clients and the need of hauling. If they have a shop at home in their garage, somebody's house in Orange County will have the husband's workshop in the garage that may have a couple of lifts in it and all of his tools and equipment. That the 40-foot flatbed was just perfect. So that's when we got the two 40-foot flatbeds. And the junk removal is just making the house turnkey ready, getting it ready for the new people to move in and not leaving a pile in the driveway or in the garage. And a lot of the Orange County realtors jump on that because we'll go in there with the turnkey ready service. And after the movers are gone, the cleaning service will show up and the junk removal truck will show up.
From start to finish, you're dealing with one singular company. You're talking about that husband with the workbench that needs to be loaded onto that 40-foot flatbed. You've got the home that needs to be loaded up, or the junk that needs to be taken away from the front of the home before that homeowner arrives at their new place. And it's got to be just like such a relief as a homeowner or somebody who's moving, going through an already stressful process, to be dealing with just one vendor here.
That's correct. Um, Again, it's just very strongly operated with customer service and taking care of the customer's needs and making sure that the new client's going to be moving in, the realtor's happy, and everyone's taken care of.
Right. I keep saying right. You guys are the right movers for the job. Again, folks, it's Tim O'Green here with Right Movers. They've been in business for 14 years. These guys are the real deal. They hold huge contracts with big local companies, national companies as well. Tim, before we kind of wrap this puppy up, tell folks how they can contract you, your business at Right Movers. How do you like to be in touch with your next customer?
Phone, email is the fastest response. And you could also get us on Instagram, Facebook, direct text messages if you like, and we'll get to you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that number, I think, is 714-800-3559 if you want to get the main office in Orange. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Beautiful. Folks, anything else that Tim just mentioned, of course, always in the description of this video if you want to check out their website, any of their socials, and get a taste for who Tim O'Green at Right Movers really is. Check that out. Tim, this has been fantastic. It has been a pleasure to have you as a guest here today on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.